There were two high-profile speeches yesterday on the war on terror from two men who could not be further apart in their views, President Obama and former Vice President Dick Cheney.
I know some have argued that brutal methods like waterboarding were necessary to keep us safe. I could not disagree more, and I categorically reject the assertion that these are the most effective means of interrogation.
The intelligence officers who questioned the terrorists can be proud of their work, proud of the results, because they prevented the violent death of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people.
Joining us is Chief Washington Correspondent and host of Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
This was a debate in every possible way, except it was not face-to-face. Is it possible to say which case was more compelling?
I think you could, argue that either case was compelling because both of them were. But I have to say, Harry, the fact that the President of the United States had to make this speech, the fact that Congress had turned him down in giving him the money to close Guantanamo, I have to say that on points, I give it to the Vice President on this. Just the fact that the debate took place, the fact that Congress, turned the President down. President Obama's been in the driver's seat with the Congress up until now, but Congress pretty much pulled him over to the side of the road on this issue. And until he comes up with a plan on how to close Guantanamo down, I think they're going to continue to deny him the funds to do just that. Right now, I think the Vice President has made his case, and at this point, I'd have to say he's winning.
It's very interesting. I think it behooves everybody who cares a whit about this issue at all that they go on YouTube or go online and read the transcripts of every single word that was uttered, because both speeches were breathtaking, I think, in their scope and their pointedness. The president was literally answering Dick Cheney, not the least of from his appearance on Face the Nation 2 weeks ago.
There's no question about that, Harry. And the interesting thing is, this is the debate that we did not have during the campaign. Because if you'll recall, John McCain was one of those who said we ought to close Guantanamo. I think most people think that Guantanamo is an open sore, that in many ways it's a recruiting tool for these terrorists. But getting it closed, what do you do with these people? Because, I mean, let's face it, there's some bad dudes down there. And no congressman wants those people brought back into his home district, even to be put into prison. The president has got to come up with a detailed plan on how he plans to do this. It's not good for the president to lose a fight with the Congress, because if he loses one, the Congress starts to smell blood, and the next thing you know, he's going to have trouble getting the next thing passed. Indeed. He's got to come up with a plan, it seems to me, Harry.
Last but not least, another exclusive interview on Face the Nation this Sunday. Dick Cheney's former partner from the first Gulf War, General and Secretary of State Colin Powell.
You'll remember that the Vice President really went after Colin Powell, said he wasn't even sure he was a Republican anymore. They talked about this issue. Well, my sense is Colin Powell will have something to say in response to that Sunday on Face the Nation. We'll talk to him about all of this and a lot more.
All right, Bob, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you,
appreciate it. And as we mentioned, Sunday on Face the Nation, Bob has an exclusive interview with former Secretary of State Colin Powell.